So this is David, and today I want to talk to you about how a restaurant, the same restaurant with a different name, the order value can go up just by changing the name. Everything is staying the same, right? So I want to talk to you today about price anchors. So there was a story about a consultant, and when he was bidding on a project, the price would get resistance, right? Whenever he offered the price, there would be some resistance from the prospect, right? And they would counter with a 10 to 15% price reduction, right? That would normally be the case. But then one meeting, he accidentally stumbled onto something and he discovered this. It's very interesting. So after his usual presentation, just before he stated his actual price, his offer, which was $75,000, he joked, "Hey, as you can tell, I'm not going to be able to charge you $1 million for this." Right? And the client looked up from what he was reading, the written proposal that he's been reading, and he said, "Well, I can agree to that." And after that, there wasn't any price objections and ended up with a signed contract. And he uses that from then on. And although it doesn't always win the business, eliminates many challenges to the fees that he presents. And this is a study from Robert Cialdini, the OG in psychology of persuasion, right? And another study also by Robert Cialdini, some studies found that when a restaurant was named Studio 17 versus Studio 97, with everything being the same, the amount of people said they'd be willing to spend more money on the name with the higher number, right? Just changing the name with a higher number. And another study, and work performance study, found effort and output would be better if the study was labeled Experiment 27 versus Experiment 9. So you're seeing a common pattern here, the higher number you name something, or the higher number you price something at first, it has many benefits, okay? So as we can see, it increases order value. It helps create an anchor, right? Like a high anchor versus the real price. So observers' estimates of an athlete's performance increase if they wore a high number versus a low number on their jersey. The common pattern once again, right? And that observers' estimates of an athlete's performance increase if they wore, the high number versus I'm repeating myself, but the low number on the jersey, right? So it doesn't always have to be number related, by the way. So people in a wine shop, they were more likely to purchase German wine if they heard German songs playing in the store beforehand. And they were more likely to purchase French wine if they heard French music playing in the restaurant, right? So these are known as persuasions and pre-framing things before we even get to the offer, right? So the big takeaway here, and to make this practical, is you want to anchor high. Okay, you want to anchor high before you even say the price. Show a really high price for your coaching business or your high ticket coaching, whatever. And then when you get to the actual price, and your actual price seems so tiny compared to the much higher price, right? With the example of the guy that said, "I'm not going to charge you $1 million for this, obviously, right? I'm only going to charge you $75,000. It makes it seem very tiny compared to the higher price. So if you are an established coach, you can watch this video now for more content like this. It's super sick and it'll help you out in your high ticket coaching business. Talk to you soon.